1 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday, and it's a big one. This is always the traditional Detroit Lions spot, and they welcome their NFC North rivals, the Green Bay Packers, coming off a 17-point win over the Vikings. The Lions barely got by the Giants. Great game, 34-27 on Sunday. So they both coming off wins. Mikey, I'll start with you. Who needs this more because it's your Bears that are currently sitting in first place?
I think Detroit needs this game more because they barely survived the New York Giants, and the Packers kind of have that built-in excuse right now. No Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft is out for the season. Matthew Golden didn't play, so the Packers are trying to get healthy, but they can't stay healthy. Where Detroit, you've been the cream of the crop, not only in the NFC North, but in the entire NFC. And if Dan Campbell would just get out of his own way, they might be a serious threat. So I think Detroit needs this game more than anyone.
Get out of his own way. Soupy, he's calling the plays now in Detroit. This guy has taken head coaching in the NFL to a whole new level. And I don't mean up, I mean down. He's costing himself and their team points and potential wins.
I think what does help him is he is that player's coach and people rally behind him. So you see a game like the Giants when they should have lost that game. Detroit should have lost that game. But when you have a coach that you're confident in, no matter what type of plays that he calls, you're going to get up for him and you're going to play. This is all that the Lions need to do. Here, Jahmyr Gibbs, do your thing. And that's it. So when I'm taking a game that's close, I'm going to go with Gibbs over possibly Emmanuel Wilson. And I think Detroit comes away with this game.
This new player, Jahmyr Gibbs, we talk of.
Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah. I know.
Don't get hot.
We're not in stadium. I can do what I want.
Whoa. Mikey, you're starting a little gimmick infringement here. Check my notes. Don't get hot. Playing your own sounders. Very interesting. Very interesting. Raphael, let me reset. You guys are watching Mikey and Company. We're here today just on YouTube and social media. We're discussing the Thanksgiving Day NFL games. Raphael, is this number where it should be? And also, the way the Packers are playing right now, I wouldn't play an over in their game at all, but I hate unders, so I wouldn't play the under, but I think the under is the play.
I think this number is going to move because everyone wants to bet the Cowboys and the Lions on Thanksgiving because they play every year. So we'll probably see a 3, but be very cautious. The Lions are 10-12 against the spread on Thursday Night Football. Their last 22 games. Dan Campbell, 2-1 against the spread his first 3 games as a Detroit Lions head coach. So be very cautious on this one. I think if you like the Lions, I hate to say this, maybe buy it down to 2 now because it's going to be 3 probably before kickoff.
I don't know that I've ever bought a game down to 2. I don't know that I buy a lot of points when I play. I don't know if I've ever done it to 2. I've done it to 3, obviously 7 to 10.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that the money line's minus 150. If you buy it down to 2, you're only going to probably spend minus 120. Now you're at 2. So now you're saving pretty much 30 cents if you just wanted to take the money line. So if you lose it, you're only taking minus 120, then minus 150.
That makes a lot of sense. That's why you are our numbers guy. Real quick, from a prop perspective, you said avoid David Montgomery. I believe, Mikey, that was you. Yes?
Yep.
Would you lean into Gibbs and his overs on Thursday?
Absolutely. Rushing receiving yards almost feel that nothing's a lock, right? Almost a lock. Longest reception for Jahmyr Gibbs is another prop to look at, and longest rush, another prop to look at.
What about fading, Soupy, some of the Packers players, or perhaps, because I really think the way the Packers believe they could win right now is to slow the game down, suck the air right out of it. We saw last week it was 23-6 against Minnesota. They beat the Eagles 10-7, or that was the final score. Right now, it's almost let's just try to grind out wins. That can lead to a lot of unders.
It could, and the only receiver that I'm confident right now for the Packers would be Christian Watson. It seems like Jordan Love is starting to like Watson. He's a guy who can stretch the field, and if they're down a possession or 2, he's going to try to get that big play. So I'll take the Watson longest reception.
All right. Very, very good. All right. Game number 2. And this one matters, guys, so much. Not just to my fandom, but to the NFL. Because right now we're starting to wonder, is the window closing for the Chiefs, and we saw the 49ers last night. They've been the two teams for the last 5 to 7 years. The Chiefs were on life support on Sunday, down 11 in the fourth quarter, getting ready to fall to, let me check my notes. That would have been under 500. But now, Raphael, I'm going to start with you. They have some life. They come back. They beat the Colts. They're now at 6-5. The Cowboys, an unbelievable win over the Eagles, a 21-point comeback and win 24-21. So both teams had big-time comebacks on Sunday. How do you get back up? Because this one matters just as much.
Yeah, this one's a very interesting storyline. So if you're going to look at Kansas City, yes, they beat Daniel Jones, who looked like the old Daniel Jones. Are they going to make Prescott look like Daniel Jones? I don't think so, because I love the way Dallas has been playing on the offensive side. But boy, this Cowboys defense is night and day from week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. This is going to be a very dogfight game. This is the one I just put a big X. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and just watch this game, because I am so worried that the Chiefs may lose this one and then we get a poo-poo coach on Friday.
Poo-poo coach. All right. I don't believe I've ever had a poo-poo face day in my life. Pissed off coach. Oh, yes. He shows up every now and then. Mikey, let me come over to you, because it's so fascinating that the Chiefs are kind of like the Packers right now. They can't finish drives. They can't score touchdowns. Their first 3 were field goals on Sunday. They're going to need to score touchdowns to beat this Dallas team. But should they be favored by 3?
Right now, I don't believe so. There is one good thing for the Chiefs coming into this game. Isaiah Pacheco he's on track to return in this game. And the Chiefs they're going to win this game by being dirty, ugly, physical, punching the Cowboys every chance they get. But when I look at this game overall, it's all about desperate energy. Which team has more energy? Which team knows they have to be and play more desperate to get a win and elevate them into the next week and into the playoff hunt? And with all that said, Coach, I love Kiss Up Mountain. I absolutely love being on your good side, but I love Wolsey more. How about them Cowboys?
Soupy.
I'm wondering how the Cowboys are going to feel in this game. This is going to be their 3rd game in 10 days. That's a dogfight right there. That's tough. And I think they eat too much tryptophan during the day, because in their last 14 Thanksgiving games, they're 3-11 against the spread. The Chiefs still have their backs against the wall. They're only 6-5. They still are going to fight for that AFC West to try to get into the playoffs. And I don't want to face a Patrick Mahomes with his back to the wall. I'm taking the Chiefs.
What is tryptophan?
Tryptophan.
What is that?
That's the stuff in the turkey that makes you tired.
Tryptophan?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. Anyway, I learned something today. I was asking like it's a serious question. Not everybody jokes around the entire show. Not everybody comes here to laugh the whole time. Not everybody comes here because they want to have a good time in the morning. Sometimes it's got to be serious. We're talking about tryptophan.
Humbug, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk props for a second, because in this game in the years past, Raphael, you'd have been like, hell, play the over. The Chiefs, despite the weapons, are not scoring a lot of touchdowns. However, Rashi Rice is an absolute beast when it comes to prop numbers. He went over his yardage, went over his receptions. On the other side, it looks like George Pickens is now the play instead of CeeDee Lamb. Where would you go as far as props are concerned?
You hit it right in the nail. Both of them, Rice and Pickens, just play their prop bets. Because even if you lose this game, if you've been playing them the last 4 or 5 weeks, you've been cashing tickets left and right. So I agree with both of them, Rice and Pickens on this one. But let me jump back on the game. This is only the second time in the last decade that the Cowboys are underdogs on Thanksgiving.
Wow. A little extra inside info from Raphael this morning. Mikey, you and Soupy are our fantasy and props guys. It's really hard sometimes when sports books, they're a little bit late to the party, or because of a name, they don't want to give another name better numbers or bigger numbers, and that can be an advantage sometimes. And I feel like right now with George Pickens, that's where we're at.
Coach, I'm going to stay away from the wide receivers in this game. And I'm going to look at both tight ends, Jake Ferguson and Travis Kelce. As good as those wide receivers are in Kansas City and in Dallas, whoever's going to win this game, in my opinion, on the offensive side of the ball, is going to have to feed their tight end on Thanksgiving, no pun intended. And I love the over in this game.
52. Soupy, do you agree with that?
I do. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think at some point, both of these offenses are going to want to air it out. So, and I think Travis Kelce, great going up the middle for, with those slants. He can get those first downs. Same thing with Jake Ferguson. I'll take both of their reception props.
Can you imagine what that Thanksgiving dinner is going to be like? Boothang has got the best caterers in the world. He's going to be flying back. They're going to have that 8 o'clock dinner, candlelight. They just better win because Boothang got to make that house a home. You know what I mean? They're getting married. All right. Speaking of high scoring affairs, speaking of shootouts, I am praying that game number 3 is exactly what we think it is going to be. Because with Joe Burrow, all pro, coming back, Ja'Marr Chase coming off a 1-game suspension, he's going to be fired up. Raphael, I'm starting with you. The Ravens, they're still on track to catch the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Steelers are doing themselves no favors. No Aaron Rodgers. They lose to the Bears. And now you got to come right back. So right now the Ravens have the division in the palm of their very hand. The question is, Raphael, can they cover the 7 with not knowing what Burrow and Chase will bring to the table?
I think this one comes off a 7. I can see 6.5. I think if everyone's going to find out, Burrow's playing, I'm going to play the Bengals, but he can't play defense. He's only a quarterback. So I think this number drops. I don't know what Ravens team I'm going to get. For sure they were to easily steamroll the last couple of weeks, and they've struggled. They still can't run the game like we saw last year, and their defense still has holes. I can't trust the Ravens to lay this big of a number. And I think there's a high total. It wouldn't shock me if we see an ugly game. It wouldn't shock me that all 3 games stay under the total on Thursday.
It is a high total. It definitely is. Because I think the books believe, because thanks to Joe Flacco, that when they get behind, the Bengals can come back. Well, Joe Flacco's not playing. You might have a quarterback, Mikey, that could be a little bit off, could be a little bit rusty. We don't know. So sometimes you got to stay away, even though this is the late game, and normally the late game is where you either make up or you double down.
Yeah, are the Ravens the quietest 5-game winning streak we've never talked about?
Yep.
I mean, it's like everyone's like, I guess that the Ravens have a game this week. And they do have a very, very important game now, sitting in first place in the AFC North. I think this game hits the over because I love Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase this week. We're going to find out. Has the Ravens defense turned that corner? They were awful in the first half. We all thought they needed Lamar Jackson. Maybe that defense just needed to play a bit better. We'll find out on Thursday, but I do like the over in this game.
Okay, so Mikey likes the over in the Chiefs game and this game. Soupy, where's your mind taking you?
If Joe Burrow had been playing all year, I'm taking this over without a doubt. I'm thinking that it's going to be a slow start for the Bengals and the Ravens. I'm considering taking the under for the first half. And that, I think that's the play for this game. And I think as the game goes along in the second half, they make those adjustments, and that's when you see the scoring. If you want to take the full game, I would tease the total down, and I would tease the Ravens down a little bit too, and take maybe a same game parlay there.
So you tease the Ravens down to 1 and tease the total down to 46.
Yes, and take a same game parlay.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't
Bengals
mind that.
First half under had cash last week because everyone played the over in that game, and it flew under the total in the first half.
You said the Jets and the Ravens?
No, the Bengals game last week.
Oh, the Bengals in the game last week. Yeah, it did. It did as well. All right, gentlemen, well done on these 3 games. Obviously, on Thursday morning, we'll have some type of a show. May just be all NFL. We'll see. But we'll certainly be here live on Thursday. And don't forget, there is a Black Friday game. We're not sure how Mikey will make it through the week with the Bears in first place, a game all by themselves against who, Mikey? Who are they playing this week?
In the great words of Tommy C., that stupid, fat, big Dom, and that awful, smug Nick Sirianni and the dumb Philadelphia Eagles.
I was just looking for Philly. That's all I was looking for.
I had to get it in, Coach. I got to get it
in. So that's 2 things now in the morning that he does. Okay.
Just got it.
You just got it?
Got it.
Is everybody like on a 4-second delay?
I'm on a 40-hour delay, Coach.
Oh. My sense of humor never takes a day off.